Show continues on City News.
101.1 FM and 1310 AM.
Welcome back to the Sam LaPrade Show. Derek Fage here, filling in for Sam. A year ago today, London, Ontario, and the world shocked to learn a vehicle attack on the Afzaal family while they were out for a walk that left 4 of them dead. To get reaction of this sad anniversary, I'm joined by Imam Luqman Ahmed. He is from an imam from a mosque here in the region in Cumberland. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go back a year ago today and your first thoughts when you heard the news.
My first thought, Derek, first of all, thank you for having me.
Oh, our pleasure.
Firstly, I would just like to say that, as an imam with the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat here in Ottawa, I just want to express my sympathy and my condolences over this incident that took place. And, I speak for all of our members here in Ottawa. We hope and we pray that, we never see such hateful and heinous acts again here in Canada. As far as, as you mentioned, my first initial thoughts when I heard about this incident, of course, the first reaction was that of shock and grief. Mm-hmm. At the same time, whenever such incidents take place, of course, people all over the country, they find out about such incidents. And we always hope and we pray that, it becomes a time for reflection and for learning, that all of us together, we learn to reject all forms of hate in Canada. And especially in this context, especially against Muslims. And, the motto of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat is love for all, hatred for none. And we believe that we, as Canadians, we have to embrace the humanity of all people, regardless of, their color or ethnicity or their religion.
Did you see a rise in anti-Muslim hate after this attack?
So personally, as far as seeing a rise in anti-Muslim hate, personally, I have experienced over social media online, not in my real life experience. I've spoken with different members of my community here in Ottawa, and of course, as Muslims, everybody's sentiments and feelings are different, and they express them in their own unique way. Some people have mentioned to me that, when, as you mentioned first, that what was the reaction when they heard about this. Some people that I spoke with, they told me that they were not entirely surprised when they see this, because in their experience, they mentioned that, they have seen a growing trend of hate and discrimination against Muslims. So when they see a real life physical manifestation of this hate, they're not entirely surprised.
That is sad to hear, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. At the same time, I would say that, many other members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat that I have spoken with here in Ottawa, people have also expressed, their prayer and their joy, seeing the solidarity from many people from all aspects of life, especially from our political leaders. And this was especially the case. I remember that, for example, there was a case of a teacher, a female teacher, in Quebec, who, when she lost her job due to, these laws in Quebec, which many Muslims feel that they're unjust laws. Yeah. And we saw that many people spoke out against that, and many people stood by her in solidarity. So when Muslims see their fellow Canadians standing with them in solidarity against hatred, that is something that it gives them hope and it gives them joy.
I think that's the key, right? Because, obviously action from government is incredibly important, Luqman, but I think action from everyday people is probably even more important, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You're right that, as fellow Canadians, if we stand up for Muslims, whenever we see in our environment, any kind of hate, any kind of discrimination, if we see not just Muslims, if anyone is being wronged, and we stand up for them, that is a sign of hope, definitely.
On the government side of things, do you think the government has done enough to help address Islamophobia?
As far as anti-Muslim hate is concerned, I'm not I don't follow politics.
Okay.
But I would say that as Muslims in our community, we realize that the actions of a handful of individuals, and as Muslims we can relate to this very well, that actions of a handful of individuals should not be generalized for all people. We believe that education is the best way to remove hate and misunderstandings, and this is why it is a major initiative of the Ahmadiyya Muslim of Jamaat of Canada to educate people about Islam and about Muslims, because we think that if people are interacting more with Muslims, if they're learning more about Muslims as people, those bridges of understanding can be built in this manner. And the more they do this, the more they're likely, as we were just speaking about that, they're more likely that when they see acts of hate or discrimination around them, they're more likely to stand up against it.
What about suggestions on how people can learn more? Because I think I think you expressed that so well. It is, people should look at opportunities to learn more about the Muslim community, not just here in Canada, but around the world. What do you suggest? Where is a place people can go?
As far as where people can go, I think in their everyday life, Muslims that they know, they might be their neighbors, they might be their co-workers, and it's not even learning about the faith. It's more about learning about the people.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, suggestions. There's not any specific suggestions. I would just say that I hope and I pray, and it is the prayer of all of us that this on this first anniversary, it becomes a time of reflection and learning for all of us to reject all forms of hatred. There's a famous saying.
Agreed.
Of the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, His Holiness Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and I think it applies to people of all faiths and all religions, and even those people who are not particularly affiliated with any religion. He said that a religion which does not inculcate universal compassion is no religion at all, and a human being without the faculty of compassion is no human at all. So I think that this is an important lesson that as Canadians, we should embrace the humanity of every people, and we should have sympathy and love for other people, and we should learn to have this love and sympathy for people, no matter their ethnicity, no matter their religion or the color of their skin.
Imam Ahmed, so beautifully said. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me on again.
Our pleasure. Take care.